The visuals, audio, and/or narration may be generated or enhanced by AI and do not represent real individuals or events unless otherwise stated. The content is provided for informational and educational purposes.
Hello, and welcome to the Oregon and Idaho Annual Conference Safe Sanctuary Training. We are delighted to begin this journey with you and deeply grateful for your willingness to serve. Through your commitment of time, care, and energy, you help foster spaces that are safe, nurturing, and life-giving for everyone. Our ministry depends on the faithfulness, dedication, and compassion of people like you. We could not do this work without your commitment, and we thank you sincerely for answering this call to serve. Let's talk about something that is absolutely critical for any group that works with kids or vulnerable adults: safe sanctuaries. We're going to break down what it is, why it's so incredibly important, and how it helps us create a community where everyone feels safe and cared for. Let's dive in. You might be thinking, do we really need all these formal rules, especially in a place where everybody knows everybody? In a tight-knit community, it can feel a little weird, but there is a very serious reason why these policies are not just a good idea but completely essential. This is the reason why. A staggering 90% of children who are abused know their abuser. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some random statistic. It's a heartbreaking reality. So this isn't about building walls to protect our kids from strangers. It's about making sure the environment inside our community is safe and accountable for everyone. That's a shocking number. It's really the foundation for everything we're about to discuss. It brings us to our first point: why this stuff matters so much. And really, it's as simple as this. These aren't just a bunch of random rules made up to make things difficult. Every single guideline has one primary purpose: to create a safe, transparent, and protective bubble around the most vulnerable people in our community. So that is the why. But what about the how? How does this actually look in a real-life situation? In this next section, we'll explore how to respond with care but without taking risks. So picture this scenario: a young person you know and care about comes to you, and they're clearly upset. They look at you and say, "Can we go somewhere quiet to talk?" I mean, every part of you wants to say of course and give them your full attention. But this is one of those key moments where our compassion has to be guided by our policy. And what we love about this is how it breaks it down clearly. On one side, you have the risk: going into a private room. Just the two of you. But look at the other side. The safe way still lets you be there for them. You can meet in a big open room. You can sit at the front of the sanctuary where other people are around. You can absolutely still show you care. You just do it in a way that's visible and accountable. We really want to hammer this point home. This is one of those hard and fast rules. There's just no wiggle room here. You cannot go alone into a closed room with a young person. And it's not just about protecting the young person. It's also about protecting you, the volunteer, from any possible misunderstandings or even false accusations. It really creates safety for everybody. And that idea, it leads us perfectly into our next section, which is all about how these guidelines are designed to protect everyone involved. You see, this is so much bigger than just checking a box for an insurance policy. This is about being intentional. We're trying to build a culture where volunteers feel protected, young people are safe, and the whole community is built on trust and accountability. So we've talked a lot about children and youth. But you might have noticed the term vulnerable adults in there too. What does that actually mean? Who are we talking about? Here's the key thing to understand. It's not always about age or a physical disability. It's really about a power imbalance. It's about recognizing when someone might not be in a position to speak up for themselves or to fully grasp the dynamics of a situation. So, let's make this real. A vulnerable adult could be an older person who depends on others for care. Or an adult with a developmental disability. It could also be an 18-year-old who's just starting out interacting with much older, more powerful people in the community. Our job is to be aware of those power dynamics and make sure they're never taken advantage of. This whole spirit of protection, it also extends to just creating a welcoming space for everyone. It reminds us that, especially for kids, maybe kids with special needs, their energy isn't a problem to be solved. It's just who they are. It's how they're made. And our spaces should celebrate that. Let's shift gears a bit to an idea that might feel a little counterintuitive at first, but it's so important. Let's talk about how boundaries are actually a form of love. This is where love gets practical. It means we don't just go in for a hug. We let the child decide if they want one. And if they do, we are always the first to let go. It means we pay attention to personal space. Even respecting someone's choice to wear a mask. That's a boundary. It's a small way of saying your comfort and safety matter to me. So, here's the bottom line. Boundaries aren't walls we put up to keep people out. They are the foundation that makes real trusting relationships possible. When someone knows you'll respect their space, they feel safe with you. And that safety is where trust begins to grow. So when we put all of this together, all these rules and guidelines and mindsets, what are we actually trying to build? What's the big picture here? It's all about this. It's about building a bigger and safer table. A place where there's room for everyone. And where everyone who pulls up a chair knows, without a doubt, that they are secure and valued. Isn't that what we all want? A place where kids can just be kids, laugh, play, grow without fear. And where adults feel just as supported and looked after. That's the heart of what a safe sanctuary is all about. So, as we wrap up, the question comes back to you. Now that you know the why behind the rules, and you see the vision for what we're trying to create, how are you going to help set that table? What's your part in building this bigger, safer community for everyone? We will continue our discussion in the following sections, where each topic will be addressed in detail. Protecting our most vulnerable is not just a policy, it's a sacred calling.